This is where a lot of other investors go wrong at. They get a private inspection done first. So they have a home inspector come out to the property. Now that's not all bad, but it is bad. So let's just say if I'm aggressively submitting offers and I get 4 of them accepted a month, and I'm going through my due diligence process to figure out if I want to do that property. I send a private inspector out. I pay them $400 to go do a private inspection. At the end result of their private inspection, I deem the property as one that I don't want to continue with. Bad inspection, I shouldn't buy it. Yeah, but if you have your contractor go out first, then you can have them go out at a fraction of the cost, if not any cost, and give you what their assessment is to rehab the property. Listen, if you want to be successful in real estate investing, there is one very, very critical component that you have to master. That's your due diligence period. All right. And the reason I'm shooting this video today, although due diligence has been known to be kind of a boring part of the process, I spoke with a couple who were looking to come into our mastermind, and I was interviewing them the other day, and it just broke my heart, to be honest with you. They are victim, as some of you have been, for going out and acquiring help previously. So they paid for some form of mentorship in their local market, and these people just taught them all wrong. Like, I have no idea how people like that are still around after teaching people things that don't work. I mean, that's the bottom line. I don't know no other way to sugarcoat it or paraphrase it, and I don't even think that that's required at this point. I think we just need to call it what it is. They gave them poor practices. And the saddest part about it is that they are the type of students and the type of investors that will go out and take action. And so they went out, predicated on the things that they learned from this said mentor, and they have just embodied some things that are fundamentally off with the due diligence period. Now, for those of you that's wondering, well, what is due diligence? So from the time that you submit an offer on a property to then getting that property, that offer accepted, there's a period that every investor should have in their contract, specified in their contract. In all of our real estate teachings, I don't care, from a course to a mastermind, any level of mentorship, right, as I'm gifting to you right now for free, is our philosophy on our due diligence period. So when you write a contract, everybody should have at least a 7-day due diligence period, if not 10 when possible. This gives you time as an investor to do these things right here. So the first thing that you're going to do in your due diligence period is contractor inspection. Okay, the first thing that you're going to do is a contractor inspection. Why do you do a contractor inspection first? You're doing a contractor inspection because this is where a lot of other investors go wrong at. They go out and they get a private inspection done first. So they have a home inspector come out to the property. Now that's not all bad, but it is bad. So let's just say if I'm aggressively submitting offers and I get 4 of them accepted a month, and I'm going through my due diligence process to figure out if I want to do that property, okay? I send a private inspector out. I pay them $400 to go do a private inspection. At the end result of their private inspection, I deem the property as one that I don't want to continue with. What? You're like, okay, B, I get that. That makes sense, right? Bad inspection, I shouldn't buy it. Yeah, but if you have your contractor go out first, then you can have them go out at a fraction of the cost, if not any cost, and give you what their assessment is to rehab the property. So if I'm going into a situation and I know my rehab number has to come back at around 50,000, and based on this contractor assessment, they're telling me the absolute lowest it'll be is 75, then why would I then just forfeit $400 to pay an inspector to go over there to tell me what their assessment is if I know fundamentally the deal don't make sense anymore? Y'all tracking? Put I'm tracking in the comments, all right, if y'all are tracking, because I want you to make sure that you're very clear about what this due diligence process is. So the first thing is you want to go have your contractor go over there, and not only do you want a contractor inspection, you want to get 3 bids, right? You want to get 3 bids during this 7 to 10 day window that you've given yourself to go over there and better assess the property after you've gotten it under contract. Okay. Now, number 2, yes, if the contractor bids come back right, then you're going to get a home inspection. Okay. So at this point, you hire a private inspector, private home inspector in your respective marketplace to then go out and give you an assessment on the finite things that maybe a contractor is not looking at. So contractors going over looking at structural, cosmetic, does the roof need to be completely torn off or just a reshingle? Do the windows need replacing? The floors, right? They're looking at all of the obvious condition of the property. An inspector, however, will look deeper into the age of the furnace, look deeper into the electrical system, and making sure that everything is properly permitted and things of that nature, or up to code. I shouldn't say they don't go as far as checking permits, but they will tell you if they deem things are up to code. They may see a active termite issue that a contractor may not see. They may see an active mold issue that a contractor may not see. So there's redundancy in their inspection in addition to the contractor inspection. Okay, that's very important. So as you're going through this due diligence period, the whole premise behind it is to give yourself time to do further inspections on this property to ensure that you're getting yourself into a good opportunity. Now, by doing that, what's happened is this. So after you get a property under contract, you have what's called your earnest money deposit. Your earnest money deposit is due within 48 hours in most states of a fully executed contract between buyer and seller. So buyer and seller, we sign the contract on Tuesday. The earnest money deposit is due at that 48-hour interval, okay? Which means that I have to send this money to a closing attorney or to a title company, whoever is facilitating the transaction, and they hold these funds in escrow. Maybe $1,000, could be $2,000, could be $5,000, right? Whatever you agreed upon when you signed that contract. Now watch this though. Listen, I promise you, I know you're enjoying the video. I'm gonna let you get right back to it, but I wanted to make sure I gave you an opportunity to join us inside of our Believers in Business community. What is it? So here's the thing. I figured out that at times where I've had financial success, but maybe my faith wasn't in the greatest place. At times I may have had financial success, but my weight wasn't in the greatest place. Or I may have been struggling with something that I needed freedom from. And so what all of this has taught me is that probably just like yourself, we need this core 4 to be really solid in our life. Our faith, our fitness, our finances, and ultimately our freedom. And so what I found is that that has been the only thing that's given me true success in life, as so for the people inside of our community. And so I want to extend you an opportunity to join us in the community with aspiring business owners, current business owners who really want to have holistic success in their life in every aspect. And so I want to extend you an opportunity. It's a 14-day free trial. Click the link in the description. And as promised, back to the video. Why that's so important is because if you write up your contract to have a 7 or 10 day due diligence period, then if you desire at the end of that 7 to 10 days that you don't want to move forward with in the property, that earnest money deposit comes back to you. If you do not have a due diligence period in your contract, they keep that earnest money deposit if you don't move forward in a transaction. This is why it's so important. Now, it's not just important to be able to save that money. It's important not to do bad deals to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So after you do that, you get a home inspection. Then my third recommendation would be to get a sewer inspection. Okay, because the home inspection typically won't cover the sewer inspection, but you want to get a sewer inspection because if you end up having excessive problems with tree roots, for instance, and they're protruding into your sewer system, and you have to, at some point at a later date, dig up that backyard or pull that tree out, this can be in excess of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 fix. Not to mention whatever water intrusion that may have been coming back into the house, feces that's not going out as it should, right? Y'all get the picture and probably the smell through me explaining that. So it's critical to have these three phases completed to ensure as much as possible that you get into a viable opportunity. So I'm talking to this couple that was looking to come into our mentorship program. And the sad, unfortunate truth is that whomever taught them, this mentor that they paid in their market, basically told them to omit this process. Told them to omit this process. Now, some investors will tell you that if you get rid of your 7-day inspection or shorten it to 3 or whatever, that if you omit that process, that it puts you in a more favorable position that your offer may likely be accepted. Meaning, if a seller sees that you do away with your private inspection, then that means that you're more susceptible to move forward in that transaction without pulling out, because they know at that point if you pull out, your earnest money deposit is already committed in what we call go hard. So they know worst case, if you pull out, they'll keep your $1, $2, or $5,000. So it's a more aggressive approach to get the seller to say yes to your offer. However, we ain't never that desperate, okay? And even in the event where me, after doing over 100 transactions, that on some deals I may bypass a due diligence period, it's because I'm a seasoned investor. And secondly, because I'm doing my due diligence prior to. So what they don't know is that I've already got my contractors in there. I've already done an inspection. So when I submit my offer, then I'm submitting an offer knowing that I'm moving forward anyway, right? And so they don't have to know all of that, but right. And I don't want y'all to even get caught up on all of that. I want you to focus on the fact that you need to have a due diligence period in every single offer. Okay. Protect yourself at all times, just like you in the boxing ring. Okay. So these students, their previous mentor told them to omit this process. So here's what happened. They end up bypassing the inspection period. They bought this property, and not only did they omit the inspection period, but then they also didn't understand rehab numbers well enough to hold their contractor accountable. So the contractor comes and gives them a bid of like $50,000 or $55,000. And they were being sold on this whole 30 days, 30-day purchase, 30-day rehab, 30-day sale, right? 90-day key to key is what they were told. In today's market where interest rates are all over the place and nothing is moving that quickly, okay? So they come in, they do a hack job. They didn't have the right accountability and measures in place to have visibility on the rehab. And in fairness, the woman disclosed that even when she went over there, stuff that she thought was good wasn't good. So they blow through this rehab, they pay the contractor all the money, to then only find out, guess what? That there was a tree that was gonna fall on the house because it was dead if they didn't tear it out. There was it just littered with problems after this contractor has been paid in full on a $55,000 project. That, guess how much it really was? They had another shortfall of $30,000. This was an $85,000 project that they paid somebody $55,000 to complete, and it still wasn't done. So this property has sat on the market for a year. They've been making mortgage payments on it every single month, and they have not been able to sell this thing. Now, one of the unique things about this deal is they were thinking, well, what if we just refinance it? We could hold on to it. The problem with that is this, though. So they're trying to sell it for $189,000. Okay, ARV. So in a refinance situation, they could probably get, right now in today's market, 70% of that. Okay. And I think that math is somewhere around like 132,000. Because I was literally on the phone with them yesterday walking them through this process. I think it was like 132. Problem is, though, their current loan is 150K. Y'all see where this is going? So on their best day, even if they were able to get the 189 appraisal, which they didn't, if they were to refinance that at 132, they still short almost 20 grand just to pay off the loan to the lender. I know. I felt just as bad, right? So I'm on the phone with them and I'm trying to strategize and help them make the best out of this worst situation. And I'm like, it's not selling at 189, and y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, but the refinance play not gonna work. The best thing you could do is forget the 189, list the thing for 170K, and then you will net out about 156K after fees, and barring whatever back taxes that may be due, they should come pretty close to breaking even on the loan. However, they still got another 30, 40 grand that they done sunk out of their own money into this thing. It has become a proverbial money pit because somewhere in the beginning, these steps were missed. So while due diligence is not the most sexy of topics, it is the most critical in this process. Because if they would have did this right up front, they wouldn't have never even bought this. Because the math wouldn't have matched. The deal didn't make sense. It didn't pencil. And so I'm sharing all of this with you guys to let you know that all help is not help. And all coaching is not equal. And all mentorship is not equal. And you have to vet the people that you allow to speak into your life because they were bold enough to take the action, which I appreciate. But they were ill-informed and they went out here and took action on the wrong thing. And not only did the coaching cost them, but the bad deal and result of it did as well. And I know some of y'all out there like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I don't pay for coaching. No. Let me also highlight the fact that even after this, because they've identified that now they found the right coach, they were on a call with me to discuss how to get into our mastermind once they get on the other side of this, because they're ready to do it the right way and they're still committed to providing a life that they desire for themselves and for their family. And for that, I really applaud them. Because most people quit, call it a scam, and fold up the tent. But you know what? While you can do that, none of that gets you the life and the result that you truly want. It's called perseverance. And if you don't have any, then you also will never have the life that you want for yourself. Comment below and let me know if you now understand the power of due diligence and the importance thereof. And I will see you guys in the next video.